House of Reps Committee on Petroleum extracts apology from the NNPC over the fuel crisis. Senate gets Mr. President's request to consider the supplementary budget. And later on the program.
You can imagine when they came back, they said they saw only 6 children. 6 children. And if you see the letter ID on which this man writes and collect money from everybody, you'll be surprised.
The member representing Ifakojaye Federal Constituency will talk to us about his bill on Orphanage Agency. You're watching the Hallop Chambers on TVC News. I am Tijesu Adeoye. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company has taken responsibility for the fuel crisis that has caused so much hardship for Nigerians. The Group Managing Director of Nigeria's oil company, Mele Kyari, apologized to Nigerians when he faced the House of Reps Committee on Petroleum Downstream. The Chairman House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, Honourable Abdullahi Gaya, says the purpose of the investigative hearing was to ensure that the culprits were brought to book, as well as make recommendations towards curbing a reoccurrence of the incident.
The essence of today's gathering is to elucidate the current fuel scarcity, which has a negative impact on the people. As well as we are all aware, fuel queues has recently caused gridlock in most of our major cities, affecting traffic movements. Some fuel stations are locked, while the few that are open have long queues of motorists waiting to buy fuel. This situation is not different in the capital city, Abuja.
This company is designed to serve the Nigerian people. This company is also by law required to ensure energy security for this country. It's by law, you made this law. And therefore it's our responsibility to ensure that we provide energy security for this country. Secondly, and more importantly, that this company must operate within the laws of this country. And this is what we have always do, and this is what I assure you will continue to do. And in the current situation, let me assure you, honorable members, that we have taken every necessary step to restore supply into this country. We have placed orders significant enough for us to cross into March with at least 2.1 billion liters of PMS in our custody. And the situation you are seeing today now, I can assure you that by next week it will vanish.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, read a letter from President Muhammadu Buhari requesting approval for the supplementary budget of 2.557 trillion naira for petrol subsidy. President Buhari says this amendment is necessary to accommodate some issues and also make provision for subsidy.
The 2022 budget framework has been revised to fully provide for PMS subsidy. An additional provision of 2.557 trillion naira will be required to fund the petroleum subsidy in 2022. Consequently, the Federation account main pool revenue for the 3 tiers of government is projected to decline by 2 trillion naira, while federal government's share from the account is projected to reduce by 1.05 trillion naira. Therefore, the amount available to fund the federal government budget is projected to decline by 969.09 billion naira. Aggregate expenditure is projected to increase by 45.85 billion naira due to additional domestic debt service provision of 102.5 billion naira net of the reductions in statutory transfers.
Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila has described as untrue reports that he is spearheading the probe of Interior Minister Rauf Aregbesola. On Wednesday, the House adopted a motion to probe the alleged unwholesome practices and worrisome state of affairs in the correctional centers in spite of huge budgetary allocations to the agency. The motion, which came under matters of urgent public importance, was moved by Minority Leader Undudi Elumelu.
Mr. Speaker, the House is therefore worried that working conditions of staff and inmates' welfare have deteriorated, notwithstanding the over 165 billion budget allocations to the service in the last 2 years. The House therefore observed that the arms squad unit of the service still parade obsolete and substandard weapons, despite over 1 billion budget provision for prison biometrics, arms, and ammunition in the 2020-2021 capital budget, thus impeding its ability to deter, prevent, or respond effectively to both internal and external threats. The House is aware of the deaths of correctional officers and men across the country following attacks either on escort vehicles or on custodial facilities.
Joining me now is Honourable James Owolabi, representing Ifako-Jaye Federal Constituency in Lagos State. Welcome to the Hallowed Chambers on TVC News.
Thank you so much.
You seem to have some passion for the orphans. Tell us about your motion and bill on orphanage agency.
Last year, I moved a motion on the issue of orphanage based on what is happening in Nigeria on the news about what they have turned orphanage homes to. They have turned it to another thing. Last year, there was a paper from Port Harcourt that said about 24 babies were found at the orphanage home. They have turned to more baby making home. This year, I thought I should make it a law. And that's why I went into the bill. I raised the bill to regulate the orphanage homes. I want to be an agency on its own, to stand on its own, so we can know, we will really know what is happening in our orphanage homes. Let us say this: orphans are human beings. Nigerian law is to protect everybody, including orphans. So it is difficult for us to just leave them alone and allow them to be used as if they are nobody. And that is why I raised the bill to regulate the orphanage homes. Let us know how many children are in their care. How many orphanage homes do we have in Nigeria? How do we help them? They could call me, I will go and give them money. How do I know those that are legally registered? What is the aftermath of those that are even in the orphanage homes? After growing up, where are they? What job are they doing? How do we locate them? How do we educate them? But if you have an agency that look into it, they will study them from the cradle and see how they are going to make them a good Nigerians.
But some states do have this control embedded as a department. What difference are you seeking to make?
Yes, this one will be different because this one will be handled by the federal government. We have a humanitarian ministry, and I'm sure this agency will help the ministry. This agency on orphanage homes will help the ministry to know if they are going to fend for them, if they are going to give them money, if they are going to give them something, if they will know how many orphanage homes they are having. It will be easy for anybody to say, okay, agency, we make a budget every year. We make for education, we make for ministry for health and whatsoever. What stops us from having something for the orphans? They are also human beings.
It also speaks to more expenses for the government at a time the conversation are about cutting down the cost of governance.
We will add until we are able to settle everybody. They are Nigerians. If the government is preparing for everybody, preparing for education, preparing for this, preparing for that, what stops the government to prepare for the orphans? Those that are very much in need, they have no parents. It's unfortunate that they became orphan. They didn't beg bargain for it. They found themselves there. What stops government to add more to what they have got to assist those that are very much in need?
Most of these orphanage homes are run by individuals and non-governmental groups. Is it another way of regulating NGOs?
We should regulate everything. Either you're an NGO, if you have money to take care of orphans, we should know you. For example, my dear sister, there's this man writing me all the time, members of the National Assembly, for us to assist his orphanage homes. One day I just thought I've been giving money to this person, and I told my aide to go and look for the address where this man is situated. You can imagine when they came back, they said they saw only 6 children. 6 children. And if you see the letter heading on which this man writes and collect money from everybody, you'll be surprised. They have turned it to another thing. Voluntary, is welcome. You can have an orphanage homes, but it must be registered. We must know where you are situated, so I can know how to protect those that are in your care.
How soon do we see the bill become law?
Very soon, very soon. The second reading, I just finished the second reading. I'm going to follow it up. That's what I said. I've spoken with my colleagues. We are following. Very soon, we are going to have a public hearing on this matter. We will now bring everybody together. Let us know their views and tell the government exactly what we want.
Away from that, let's talk about your experience as a member of the House for the first time. How has it been?
Since I became a member of House of Reps, I have built a lot of schools. I'm even building one now, which will be completed in the next 2 weeks. 16 rooms, 16 toilets, with an administrative office. It's a new place for the past 21 years. Those areas, the CDs here, are about 35. They have no school there. They have to go far off. That is one of those things I have done. I have built almost 39 classes since I became a member of House of Reps. Last month, I gave 4,000 bags, 34,000 exercise books. All of them are here. You can see them here. 34,000 that I gave to the junior secondary school and the primary school in my constituency. These I have done. If you are familiar with Lagos, Abeokuta Express Route, we had a very serious problem there. You cannot even pass. I moved a motion here, and I followed it up. You can see from toll gate, Ajegunle toll gate, to Ablegban, and go and see what is happening there. They are working seriously there. These are more and more of my achievements in my constituency.
Well, you actually think you have done well enough to secure yourself another ticket?
Very well, very well, very well. In terms of infrastructure, I have done a wonderful thing. I have done it. In fact, there are areas that I've just introduced street light. There are areas I just gave them street. Even now, they call a place called Ilogbo in Ablegba. They are working on their street light. Even as I'm talking now. In the next 1 week, I'm going to give some stipend to the old, the aged people from 60 to 70, 75. I have prepared for about 130 that are going to benefit from my little empowerment. I do empowerment every 2 months in my constituency. Every 2 months, I must do something for my constituents, for them to feel my impact, no matter how small.
How well have your contributions impacted on the lives of your constituents?
Very well, very well. If you are familiar with my constituency, when you get there, you'll be hearing my name. They call me Omoya Elewedu, Omoya Elewedu, Omoya Elewedu. Because my mother, that is, I was trained through artisan. My mother went far to train me through selling of Elewedu. So I know where it pinches. I deal with artisans very well. I call them to my offices, ask them what their needs are, give them the little I could. So I know where it pinches, and I'm sure my constituent will be happy to return me back.
What does the scorecard of the 9th House look like?
wow, whenever we discussed, we listened to those who have been here before. And they said Night Assembly is the best under the guide of Honourable Femi Gbajabiamila. All this empowerment that you are seeing was done through our amiable speaker who understands all the problems of our constituents. And that's why you see me saying, I'm building this, I'm building that, I'm building that. It is the help of the speaker who understands all very well. Night Assembly is one of the best, as those who are here before have said, that is the best session we ever had.
Say something about the inability of the Parliament to veto Mr. President's power to assent to the electoral bill.
No. You see, this is a family. We have said fighting, arguing sometimes does not solve problems. We have spoken with the presidency. He told us what he wanted. What he wanted aligned with what the members of the Night Assembly wanted. And that's why you see us agreeing on the issue of electoral bill. We have agreed. We are sent to it very soon.
Well, it's been weeks after the National Assembly did the bidding of Mr. President, and Nigerians are still waiting for his assent. This doesn't look like progress.
It has been sent, and we have done what he wanted us to do. Yes, and I'm sure in the next 1 week he will see it signed. He would assent to it. If he doesn't do that, then we use our power. We have our power. We have our right as a legislature. We are not a rubber stamp. We know our duties. Only we are doing it the way it should be done.
Your committee met with the NNPC management team over fuel scarcity. Let's hear your verdict.
Yes, I am satisfied. He has given us reasons. He told us he never knew, nobody knows that the PMS has got a chemical until when it was tested in Nigeria. And he has returned 5 vessels that was brought to Nigeria. And those ones that are in circulation has been stopped. And he told us in the next 4 or 5 days, the queue will be off. Let us wait for the next 4 or 5 days. We told him that after 5 days, we will recall him again and ask him if there is any queue back in the country.
Is it appropriate to consider compensation for those whose vehicles were damaged by the toxic fuel?
That will be after the issue of queue has been corrected. We will go back. But let us first see to the end of queue in our country about getting fuel.
How concerned are you and your colleagues that Nigeria imports 100% of its refined fuel?
Well, yes, we know. But I can show you based on what we have just discussed now, by the time Dangote starts his refinery, he said there will be a stoppage to importation. All this, let us wait. I'm a member of Downstream. We have gone through to so many of our refineries, and we can see the extent of the work that is being done now, preparing for some months for us to kick up. And I'm sure very soon things will normalize.
Well, the NNPC has apologized to Nigerians. Is that all about the hardship people have gone through?
Well, it's not what Nigeria wants. What Nigeria wants is a change of their trouble in getting fuel. He has apologized. He has begged us on behalf of Nigerians that we should be calm. So let us wait. He gave us 4 days. And we have told him after 4 days, he has to come back if there's any problem again. There are other things that we follow this issue of fuel contamination. So many things. But we want to pick it one by one. First, let us see to the stoppage of queue in the country. After that, then we go to other, because we are going to the level of who imported. Why do they imported it? Why is it now that we want to stop subsidy that this type of thing comes up? So many things, so many questions. But what is paramount to us now is how to get the fuel on the street for every Nigerian.
Who should be held accountable for this grave mistake that cost Nigerians untold hardship? We are looking at NNPC.
They should be held liable. They have their operational check-up. They should have checked the product before they start distributing. Why are they distributing? Why don't they check the product before they start giving it out for the public? They will tell us, we want to know those persons that certify that fuel. We have agencies, we have those that are, even those that certify it from even where it comes from. We want to know them. But that is not the first thing. The first thing is, let Nigerians go on their daily duties, daily job, without queuing for 1 or 2 days at the filling station. After that, you will follow us and see what we are going to do.
At Wednesday's plenary, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila caught an inattentive lawmaker off guard. During plenary, the Deputy Minority Leader, Toby Okechukwu, was on the floor moving a motion on the need to ensure members only occupy their designated seats. While he was seeking the enforcement on this motion, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila caught Honourable Ogene Ego red-handed. He had moved away from his seat and was having a conversation with another lawmaker. The speaker called him out and asked him to repeat what was being said in the motion presented. The exchange between the speaker and lawmaker was something to laugh about on the floor of the House.
That the gangways and people should take their seats where they're supposed to sit. And as he was moving his point of order, you were standing in the gangway talking to somebody. That was why I called you.
My Excellency, I was walking back to my seat.
No. Are you telling me that I'm lying?
How can His Excellency lie?
You were standing there. You were standing there, you were talking to somebody, he was moving the point of order, he was explaining it, and you were still talking, standing in the gang. With the very point of order, he was... That's
why I'm back to my seat.
Okay.
Yes, he has obeyed the point.
Honourable Toby, you can continue.
Finally on the program, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, paid tribute to the wives of his colleagues in the spirit of the Valentine's Day celebration. He commended them for tolerating their spouses, whose time is often preoccupied with legislative activities and politicking. But it seems Senator Ahmed Lawan's tone was laced with sarcasm when he said his colleagues only attend to official duties and nothing else.
Valentine Day is belated, I know, but it's better late than never. I'm sure our spouses understand the kind of challenges we go through here in the National Assembly, and we want to thank them. We want to appreciate our spouses and our families for giving us all the support and understanding, especially our wives. They know that we have to be somewhere else most of the time when we're expected to be at home. We don't go anywhere else. We go for committee meetings. We attend party meetings. So we thank you for your understanding. With those remarks,
maybe we should ask the President of the Senate to explain what he meant in his Valentine message. That is all we have for you on the program this week. Do not forget to watch the repeat broadcast on Sunday morning. Also, you can see the program again on TVC News YouTube channel. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Also, follow me on Twitter. My handle is @JesuAdeoye TVC. Thank you for watching. See you next time.